When I first started gaming on PC, Amnesia: The Dark Descent was regarded as essential for horror, and I wasn't disappointed, becoming a fan of developer Frictional Games ever since. All it took from the announcement trailer for the bunker was the company logo for me to wishlist it. It takes this series in a new direction, one I'm eager to share my thoughts on. Set in the First World War, we play as a French soldier, who after an explosion while evading enemy gunfire, awakens in an infirmary. Cast in darkness, the place seemingly abandoned, we find a blood trail that leads us to its source. We're informed of the situation. Officers caved in the exit, knowingly trapping others inside, which we'll need to blow open to escape. They did so to contain something. What? We'll soon discover. We have a simple goal, but with constant power outages and actively being hunted by our every sound, escape from the bunker won't come easy. The premise is great, chiefly how it experiments with the Amnesia formula. We may be in a hapless situation, but we're soldiers. We're trained for it. The opening serves as an intro to how to wield our gun, use grenades as well as other objects to clear a path. Perhaps it's my FPS affinity, but generally I stood my ground, waiting on the beast to see if I needed to fire again. It's not to suggest we can overpower the enemy. No, resources are scarce. At best, all we can do is make it retreat, but we aren't helpless. You could be more aggressive than in past Amnesias, but keeping true though, the game does hinge on avoiding detection against the need of lighting our way. The bunker is dark as hell, that unless something is directly before you, you won't be able to make anything out. Certain areas are also equipped with auxiliary lights that are some help, but in turn creates a more oppressive atmosphere when it only serves to keep your bearings. At the heart of the bunker, acting as a safe zone, complete with an inventory box and save point, is a generator to supply the place power. The difference it makes is stark, but it's a short-lived comfort as it runs on fuel that it quickly consumes. It isn't necessarily rare, but it is a limited resource you will have to keep your eyes and inventory open to. Only a couple sections require it to progress, so the main benefit is visibility. For that, our mechanical flashlight is more than enough. By pulling on a cord, light can be produced, but the duration is mere seconds. The process is loud, potentially alerting the beast your way. Most of the bunker is decorated and burrowed holes for the beast to emerge from, so when it snarled from the act, whether it made an appearance or not, I remain wary. This mechanic is ingenious, something I like to see feature more in horror. The degree of tension it creates is nice, chiefly when the beast is near, your character's heartbeat becoming audible. Even if it becomes tedious to keep powered, it can't be denied how effective a mechanic it is. Other than the sound of droning and those of our actions, the place is near silent. It keeps you on alert of everything you do. Every now and then explosive thuds will shake the environment. A reminder that a war is being waged above, that should we escape this nightmare, we'll only return to another. On a first playthrough, the bunker will seem massive, the place divided into core areas. We know from the start where we can find the dynamite and handle to detonate our way out, and we are free to head straight there. But progress will be halted by two things. 1. Locker codes for 2. The key items within them. Throughout the facility, you'll find the notes and bodies of fellow soldiers, while most of them dog tags that will have the needed sequences for their respective lockers. While bodies won't fail to spawn in the same place, the name on the tag will. Each playthrough is randomized, the extent of which can be surprising. Normally, I assume it would only apply to codes and resources, and that held true for 2 out of 5 playthroughs. It was the third, however, that took me off guard, making me wonder where the hell to go. There's a dog tag that contains the code needed for a lighter, used to ignite a torch. In the whole game, there are only a handful of threats, but the one I needed it for were rats. They reverse the fire, fleeing or dying to it. Otherwise, they will annoyingly attack. Well, could you believe the dog tag appeared in a closet in front of a pack, where I couldn't just tank the damage. I had to get creative. Or another where the lighter itself became a starting item, like a shotgun, which is late game. It became handy too. For that run, I never came across a grenade. It's funny, but you're shown by tutorial how doors can be broken down, but I had forgotten in my attempts to figure the place out. The task was one I reserved for the beast or to a thrown grenade, which left me at a loss when I had no luck with either method. I don't know why, but I just had the sudden idea to fire at it with my shotgun. It still amazes me that it worked, for I only came across a single shell, as if intended for the door. Nice details like that arise at several points, like glimpses of the surface or supernatural influences more common in the series. The game does bear some blemishes though. As often as I can find myself immersed, feeling that the location is one big place. Once you cross a threshold into a main area, the game will briefly pause to load in the environment. I suppose having played other conceptually similar horror games that didn't do so, or better masked it, makes it odd. Of course, I'm oblivious to what's occurring behind the scenes, but the transition is jarring. It's also blatant that once you pass into the area, the beast more frequently shows. I voiced it in another video, that I don't experience fear when playing anything horror, that my response isn't flight but 100% fight, that I revel in the atmosphere, which I've noticed is what translates to scares in others. That aspect of the game is excellent, recommended. Well, in the bunker I seldom hid, preferring a proactive approach. I've noticed that depending on the animations of the beast, the damage from a weapon wouldn't register, that there is also a range where it no longer matters. Rarely is the corollary anything but death. With the shotgun, it sounds like things would be better, but it would act finicky as if it didn't register my input, leading to deaths. Like the idea of constantly powering your flashlight, it can suck, especially when it fails in the most inopportune moments. I also never had much occasion to use it, as the most ammo I ever had in a run was 3 shells, and normally is a late game item anyway. You have to choose a difficulty at the start, and although it lists differences for normal and hard, there wasn't a difference to discern. From resources to the beast's aggression, it was on par. The game features 2 endings, which aren't much different from each other. One shows a character, the other doesn't. Despite these details, they don't factor into my positive opinion of the bunker. I wouldn't have kept at it for several playthroughs otherwise, most of them I can see being patched. A run could be short, with my first barely cresting 2 hours of in-game playtime. The reality is that I've died several times or wandered around looking for where to head to next, so my actual recorded time is double that. For the style of gameplay this entry aimed for, the length is perfect. I end up trying to best my times, never leaving me content. My shortest completion was 3 minutes shy of an hour, earning me an achievement for completing the game faster than all the developer staff. That's awesome. Akin to the custom stories available to the bunker on PC. Think custom user-generated campaigns, which in past Amnesia saw some creatively amazing stuff. That's undeniable value being provided that will deliver manifold on the launch price. It's also currently available on Xbox Game Pass, which makes the game even harder to pass up. Even if you focus on just the core game though, I'm happy with how it turns out. It may not be my favorite game from Frictional Games, that will go to Soma, but it is now my favorite Amnesia. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. If you have any thoughts, any comments, and or if you found potential in me and my content, please subscribe. Everyone, have a good one.